Good afternoon, HC. So today we'll just discuss the test which we had on Saturday, right? That was from the chapter, The Great Stone Face. So what were the questions here? We'll just go through the answers. What was a great stone face? What did young Ernst wish when he gazed at it? Yes, what was a great stone face? It was the arrangement of rocks which had the appearance of a face, right? So they look like a face there at a distance. And when Ernst saw that, what did he wish for? Yes, it was a work of nature. It was the beauty of nature. Absolutely correct. And when Ernst looked at it, he had this wish that when a person, because that was a prophecy that there would be a person of the same face. So what did he want? That when that person comes, I should be here on this earth to meet that person. Yes, so he wished for a long life so he could meet the person with the face same as that of the great stone face. Okay, right. Because he wanted to see what would that person be who looked like the great stone face. Did Ernst see in Gathergold the likeness of the stone face? Did he see in it? So Gathergold was what? Who was Gathergold? He was a merchant and he had become quite rich, and his wealth and the news of his wealth, it spread in the valley. And then he came to the village, and when he saw him, he was very surprised that no, he does not look like that. But to his surprise, yes, as quickly as he came rich, he lost his wealth also, right? So he felt that this man is not the great stone face. And who did he tell this? Who did he confide this? Yeah, whom did he tell about this, his concern? Who did he talk to? Nobody. Who had told him about the great stone face? His mother only. She would tell him stories about that, and she had told him about the prophecy, isn't it? So he's confided with the other people. Now, Ernst loved his mother and helped her in her work. It's true. True or false? Is it true? Yes, he did. The great faced stone face seemed to suggest that Ernst should not fear the general. Did it suggest that? That he should not be afraid of the general? Did it suggest that? No, it just suggested that he did not look like the general. So as he was looking at the great stone face again and again, he just came to know that, yes, he did not look like the general at all, the great stone face. So his worries there about who is the stone face. Okay, right. So you've got an idea about the questions here. So next time I'll be including writing skills also. We'll have a debate also. And so let's just finish this. This is the last chapter that we're doing of your syllabus, that is the Comet part 2. So can we come to this chapter now? So what have we discussed in Comet? The first part, it's about Dattada. He is an astronomer and he has discovered a comet. Now, what are the startling facts about it? What have the scientists realized? That the comet is on a path of collision with the Earth. So they've done the calculations again and again, but this is true, that this is going to collide. Okay, right. Now, what have the scientists decided? What have the authorities decided? The security people, what have they decided to do? Are they going to tell the public about it? Are they going to tell the public about it? They'll tell the public, yes, that the comet is there, but they will not tell about the dangers which are going to be, present, or the danger because of the presence of the comet, right? So they'll be just telling about that. And how does this happen? Yes, so we've read about the meeting between James and, right, it's John, right? And how they talk about all the security issues, and they have decided that in the article, they will not talk about that. But yes, so the scientist does say that if I don't mention it, there are so many people there across the world that they will be able to find out the truth. So how can you contain that? How can you stop that? So what have they decided? That there is going to be a secret science conference, right? So what are we going to read about in this part? About the secret science conference, which is going to take place, which is going to discuss about the comet, and the problems that will happen. The biggest problem is, yes, can this tragedy be averted? Can this natural calamity be averted? Means, can it be stopped? Can the path of the comet be changed? It's not possible. But yes, so there then of course we're going to once again, as in the first part, the clash between religious beliefs and scientific beliefs. Who's going to win? And in the same house, we have Dattada's wife, how she thinks that, oh, you've discovered the comet and it is bad luck, what is going to happen to us and all that stuff. So like in the same house, we have one person who's there, very scientific, he's seen it with his eyes, but here she is thinking that these comets, they bring bad luck. Now let's read about what is going to happen in the second part. So yes, so there's going to be a secret science conference, and the scientists have decided they will not make a very important information regarding the collision of the comet public to the earth. How many months are there left? Right? There are 10 months left for this tragedy to happen, and they're going to see what is going to happen during these 10 months time, because if the public is aware of it, there's going to be a lot of chaos, there's going to be a lot of panic. Okay, so please look at the screen. We're starting with comet part 2. Yes, so let's start here. Datta is invited to the secret conference. How to change the course of comet? Datta is a scientist's hidden agenda. Is it possible? Let's see. Datta and the defense advisor become close friends and share a secret. By the time they finished their deliberations and Sir John dropped him at his hotel of Regent Street, it was 1 a.m. There was hardly any crowd on the street, but when James looked up from his window, a star-studded night sky greeted him. Somewhere among these stars was Comet Datta heading for a collision with the Earth. It was hard to believe the calamity of the future on such a peaceful night. For a moment, James wondered if he had done his sums right. So sums, no, it's a very big thing here. It is not a sums, but it's a very enormous calculation. And he was wondering, it's such a beautiful night and everything is so peaceful. Can you just imagine what is going to happen in the next months and in the time to come? Whatever doubt James may have had about Sir John's efficiency were quickly dispelled when he reported for the conference and found that all the experts listed by him were there. So whatever doubts regarding the collision, regarding the danger, regarding the threat which this comet posed, astronomers, computer scientists, nuclear physicists, space technologists, biologists, all were there. And as Sir John's special invitee was present, the man who had started it all, Manoj Datta. Yes, right. Can you tell me what we have read? Who would like to read today? Who would like to read? Anybody? Raise your hand, please. Who would like to read today? No one? Okay, Vedanti. Vedanti, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
You can start from the beginning. Let's say you read from the beginning.
By the time they finished their deliberations and Sir John dropped him at his hotel off Regent Street, it was 1 a.m. There was hardly any crowd on the street, but when James looked up for his window, a star-studded night sky greeted him. Somewhere amongst these stars was Comet Datta heading for a collision with the Earth. It was hard to believe the calamity of the future on such a peaceful night. For a moment, James wondered if he had done his sums right.
Yes, please continue.
Whatever doubt James may have had about Sir John's efficiency were quickly dispelled when he reported for the conference and found that all the experts listed by him were there. Astronomers, computer scientists, nuclear physicists, space technologists, biologists, all were there. And as Sir John's special invitee were present, the man who had started it all, Manoj Datta.
Very
The conference.
nice. Okay, thank you, Vedanti. Thank you. You can mute yourself. Very nice. So, right, so there was going to be a world conference, a secret world conference of all the scientists, and Manoj Datta is there. Why do you think Manoj Datta was there as a part of the conference? What had he done? Yes? He was the one who had discovered the comet. And in fact, as it was per the rules and regulations, the comet was also named after him. Yes, he had discovered it. He discovered it, right? And the comet was also named as Comet Datta. Okay, so next, who would like to read next? Anybody? No one? Okay, Manisha, please unmute yourself. Very good. Kashish is also ready. So next you can read.
The conference lasted 1 week and went under total cover of secrecy. First, the experts checked and rechecked its calculation with the latest observations of Comet Datta. He was Indrani Devi, looked at Sibaji Babu, the younger brother of her husband. Sibaji Babu coughed and explained, "We have all been very disturbed since you discovered the comet. Guruji recommended a Shanti Yajna to
Manisha,
pacify."
I think so you've come to the next page. You've missed a page, right? Please turn back the page. Yes, he was right.
He was right. There was no escape from the direct hit predicted by him. There was a small chance that the comet may just graze the atmosphere of the Earth and not collide. In that case, the loss of life and property would not be total. But this slight respite was hardly reassuring enough for taking no action.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. Right. So what has happened here is that, yes, all the conference is going on and it is completely secret. But what is there? The calculations are absolutely correct. There might be a slight chance that the comet might just pass by touching Earth. The damage might not be so much, but that was just a guess. But they're worried about what action to be taken. What action can they take? How can they stop a comet from colliding? What could be done? Can there be any action? Yes, let's hide all the people away, go underground. But no, once it collides, all of that massive destruction there happening, and I don't think so anything can be saved. Isn't it such a dangerous scenario? Yes, let's continue reading. Who's going to read next? Kashish wanted to read it. Yes, Kashish, please unmute yourself.
Having decided that some action was needed, what form should it take? The experts dismissed defensive measures like living in underground bunkers. It was simply not a practical proposition. So the only course was to take offensive action. Comet Datta could be marginally deflected from its path by giving it a push. The experts calculated that the bulk of destructive nuclear power available on the Earth would be needed to achieve his mammoth task. A gigantic nuclear explosion suitably placed, suitably directed, and suitably timed could to do the trick. This could be done by placing the nuclear payload in a spaceship, sending it to intercept the approaching comet and detonating
Yes.
it by remote control. Success or failure, secrecy must be preserved. Finally, a timetable was drawn up for the operation, which was codenamed Project Light Brigade.
Okay, thank you, Kashish. Right. Now, all of you, yes, so what has been decided that there are chances, yes, the comet will collide. And even if it collides a little bit also, it is going to cause some kind of destruction, right? So what have they decided? There is only one way. It was not a very practical, but it was some kind of measures to save our planet Earth. What was it done? So there was just only one way in which the direction could be changed. What? Nuclear power, which is there available on the earth. So all the countries, they have nuclear powers, isn't it, right? So they all want to be stronger than the other. So they have. So everybody, yes. So with the nuclear power, what would be done? This an explosion would take place, and it would change the direction of the comet. Even a little bit there would make it possible for the Earth to survive. Okay. Now, what would it be done? Just like you see the spaceships taking off, and that nuclear fuel would be attached to it. And once it takes off, then it would release it near the comet, and that explosion would help in changing the direction. So it's a very difficult task. And do you think there would be enough time in which to do this, explosion to save the Earth? So see, so many difficult decisions the scientists have to take, and they're doing it in complete secrecy. Only the scientists of the world are aware. The public is not aware. So, right, so it is not public information. It's very secret information. So can we continue? What was the project called? What was the operation going to be called? Project Light Brigade. Okay, right. Now the important dates here. So there are important dates. There has to be a timeline. Okay, you have to make a plan that how we are going to do this and how we're going to save our beautiful planet. October 10. Dispatch the spacecraft with the payload unless by then the comet is already destroyed by natural causes or has changed its path due to unforeseen reasons. So everybody is keeping their finger crossed that if nothing happens by then, maybe the comet has been destroyed as it comes nearer to the sun, right? Like it might the gases or whatever there might change its size, or because of some unforeseen circumstances, it might change its direction. November 15, rendezvous with the comet and detonation of the payload. So it's going to take so long for the spacecraft to go near the comet. That means it is so far away, right? If the experiment failed, this was the day, December 15. And December 15 there would be a very important day. If it succeeded, then this was the day the comet would pass by at a near but safe distance. So December 15, if the Earth is going to survive or not, depending on whether the comet would collide with it or the comet would go past it, right? Yes, the success of the experiment depended on how massive the comet was. And as I've told you, these comets, they could be the size of big countries even, right? So imagine this huge landmass, coming towards you, all these stones and right, those material there inside it, along with it all coming and crashing and colliding. How dangerous. Nobody could estimate. Everybody hoped that it was not very massive. So you're just guessing that it should not be too big. Do you think we will succeed? Datta asked Sir John Macpherson for his opinion. During the week, the two had developed considerable affinity for each other. So yes, they started liking each other, they're working together and they're respecting each other for their achievements, for their knowledge, right? So Datta is asking Sir John Macpherson. Mr. Datta, I will give you an answer, honest answer. I am not buying any Christmas presents till December 15. So if I survive December 15, then I'll know I'll be able to celebrate Christmas with my family and friends. Otherwise, no need. So wait till December 15th. Datta toured the British Isles for 2 weeks after the conference, and he had a pleasant time visiting observatories and exchanging views with amateur as well as professional astronomers. On his return, he was greeted by the inevitable vast crowd of friends, social leaders, students, and the usual hangers-on. Loaded with garlands and bombarded by questions from the press, he somehow made his way to the waiting car, and Dattada's life has changed, isn't it? So he's now a public person. Everybody knows about his discovery. And yes, when he came back, nobody would revealed the mission of that conference, but they knew he was away. So how did he spend in time over there in Britain? So he toured the British islands also. And after the conference, he went to the observatories, he visited, met the professional as well as the amateur astronomers. And on his return to his country, he was given a very warm welcome. And it was very difficult for him. So many people there coming, the press also there asking him questions, and how with great difficulty he was able to make his way to his car. Okay, yes, come on. Can we look at the questions? Are you ready with the answers? Is this part clear to you all? Any doubts? Any questions? Intercept means to interfere, right? To interrupt, intercept. Okay, yes. So please go to the questions and let me hear your answers. You can raise your hand if you want to speak. For a moment, James wondered if he had done his sums right. Why was James doubtful about his sums and calculations? Why do you think he wanted them to be wrong? Yes? Why was James doubtful about his sums and calculations? Because he did not want the comet to collide with the earth, and so he wanted that some kind of mistake could be there. What did the scientists at the conference say about James' sums? So what are the sums? So sums are not your small additions, adding 2 plus 2 or 15 plus 30 or something like that, but they are very lengthy calculations, okay? So they're not ordinary sums here, but they were very, very lengthy calculations. And what did they say that about his sums? That they were correct. Yes, about his sums, it was correct. Absolutely. The danger is happening, that calamity is going to happen. What was the only relief that they had? Kya tha? Okay, that just made them felt a little bit better. What was it? That there were chances that the comet might go by without colliding, right? So it must just change its path because of some natural occurrences, right? Some forces there could make it change its course. Immediate action was needed. The scientists decided, give one example each of defensive and offensive. What are the examples? What are the defensive and offensive actions? Yes? Can you tell me? What was it? What are the defensive? Here it is. Come on. What was the defensive measure? How are we going to save ourselves? Isn't it? That is the defensive. Offensive, how are we going to attack that problem? So what was the defensive measure? Going underground, making bunkers? Was that the solution? No. So now they had to take the offensive action. Let us save ourselves, or let us stop that action from happening. And what was that? They're going to change the course of the comet, right? So they're going to cause this great explosion in space. They're going to take all the the nuclear fuel or the weapons that they could find and explode them, and hopefully that explosion might change the course. Okay, so defensive, अपने defense के लिए, right? हम कैसे defense means अपने आप को save करना, or offense, attacking, right? How we're going to tackle the situation. Offensive is that, yes, how we're going to stop the enemy, or how we're going to stop someone. Defensive is, I'm saving myself. But let us stop the attackers. Let us stop the opponent. Who's the opponent? Who's the opponent? The comet. What are they going to do? change its direction, right? This is the offensive action they're going to take now. I am not buying any Christmas presents till December 15. What did Sir John mean by that? What did he mean by that? What was the timeline for the project Light? Yes, what is the timeline? So we've read October, November, December, all these months, very, very important. And why was December 15 important? Because on that day, the comet would come very close to the Earth. So there are chances that it might just go away, right? Or rather just pass by. And there are chances it might hit the Earth. So that is why. So when is Christmas? Yes, when is Christmas? It's on December 25th, isn't it? We all know that. So yes, so that is what Sir John said. Let us see what is going to happen on December 15th. So if I am alive and safe, I can buy presents. Otherwise, I am not. And it applies for the rest of the world also, right? So do you think it was the right decision by Sir John? Was it the right decision? Yes, so it's going to wait. Okay, so can we continue with the reading? Yeah, so we still have time. We're going to just carry on. Now Dattada has come back. Dattada returns home to a warm welcome and a ceremony which is not a scientist's delight. A secret communication sends him rushing to the local sweet shop. Indrani Devi says that Khokha, the 8-year-old grandson, has saved the world. Her husband is seriously puzzled. So there is going to be a conflict of science and religion. There is going to be a big conflict. Yes, let us see who's going to read now. Anybody interested? Anyone? No one? Okay, Anshika, yes. Yes, Anshika, you can unmute yourself.
Arriving home, he found another crowd gathered around the pandal. He glanced questioningly at Indrani Devi. Surely she knew how he hated crowds. Indrani, obviously uneasy, offered the explanation. I have arranged a yajna called the priests to bless you.
Yagya. Yes, continue.
But why? Just because I left the shores of India, you know it is no longer taboo. And in any case, you know my views on these meaningless rituals.
Okay, right. So you know what, earlier when people used to leave the country, when they would come back, so people would do prayers and pujas and they thought that person has gone abroad and now let's purify that person. Okay, so now when Dattada has come back home, he found this big crowd under the pandal. And he does not like crowds. He's a very shy person, a very introvert person. And she tells him that I have arranged a yagya and the priests are going to bless you. And he's wondering, why is this? Because nowadays we can't go outside the country. It is no longer, like taboo. It is not banned. It is, there is no, like wrong thing about it. Why is she going to perform that? Why is she going to perform the yagya? Indrani Devi looked at Sibaji Babu, the younger brother of her husband. Sibaji Babu coughed and explained, we have all been very disturbed since you discovered the comet. Guruji recommended a Shanti Yagya to pacify the evil spirit behind the comet. We are all waiting for you to perform the Yagya. Right? So his younger brother telling him, that, this comet, it's not nice and you discovered it. It's bound to bring bad luck. That is what the religious beliefs are, the superstitious beliefs that people have, right? So yes, so to remove that bad luck, we're going to perform this puja. May I know what specific advantage there is in this ceremony? Dattada was outwardly calm. So he's there. He said, why should I perform this? He's a scientist. The comet you have discovered will not cause any ill effects on the earth. So the secret conference that he had with all the scientists and doing all the calculations, That could not save the earth. What could save the earth? A puja, a prayer. At this remark, Dattada blew up. Don't you know that this is all superstition? It could be condoned in the olden times when man did not know what comets were. Not so in modern times. Comets are known for what they are. Their movements are forecast precisely by mathematical calculations, and it is clearly established by statistical studies that their visits have no correlations with disasters on the earth. All this is, of course, futile on my part to explain. You and the likes of you never even read the elementary books in science. So he's very angry. He said, what do you think that it is superstition? Earlier people did that because they did not know what comets were. But now we have these telescopes, we can see them. We know that they are not some kind of imaginary thing. They are real. We can make calculations. And so it is not, it is a part of science, right? So it is, they're wrong to think that something, bad can happen because of these comets, okay? So Dattada is not ready to perform the puja, is not ready to participate, and he's angry that these people don't know anything about science.